Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Before we jump into today's crazy story, let me ask you, where are you watching from? Drop your city in the comments. Now here's a real question. Have you ever caught a cheating wife? Or maybe you know someone who has. If you've ever been in that situation, tell us how it went down. Today's story is full of shocking twists, secrets, and betrayal. Things you wouldn't believe unless you saw them yourself. So sit back, hit that like button, and let's get into it. The sea had always been my escape, a sanctuary where the noise of the world couldn't reach me. Years ago, I'd dreamed of this, sailing alone, free from the constraints of a life that had always felt too small. But dreams have a way of twisting, of becoming something else entirely. This wasn't the life I imagined. This was survival, a self-imposed exile that felt more like a slow drowning. My sister Annette had called it running away. Maybe she was right. I had left behind more than just a failed marriage. I had left behind a version of myself that once believed in permanence, love, trust. I had traded it all for the simplicity of the open water, where the tides set the rhythm of my days, and no one could lie to me. Out here, the world made sense. No manipulation, no betrayal, just the wind, the salt, the endless blue. I told myself I didn't need anything else, that solitude was enough, that I was content. The night couldn't be more perfect. Reclining with my feet up, a cold beer in hand and my e-reader shut off beside me, I let the silence settle. No movement, no stray thoughts, just stillness. A rare and necessary moment of solitude. Right now, it's the only thing I can tolerate. The sun drifts lower, setting the sky on fire with streaks of amber and crimson. The sea stretches out, glass-like and undisturbed. No breeze, no waves, just an endless expanse of quiet. Halcyon, my 50-foot sailing yacht, rests in a hidden bay off an uninhabited Greek island. Not much more than a barren rock, really, but it has two undeniable perks: no people and a perfect anchorage. Docking alone was a challenge. I had to set a second mooring line since the bay is too narrow for the boat to swing freely. But after a long day on the water, the effort felt good. Now, the beer is crisp, the air is still, and for the first time in a while, everything feels right. Then, as always, she creeps in. Julia. I try to block her out, but the harder I push, the more persistent she becomes. I don't dwell on the good times. I doubt they were ever real. Once I thought I was the luckiest man alive. She played her role so flawlessly, anyone watching would have believed it. If there had been a camera rolling, she'd have taken home an award. A familiar heat rises in my chest. No, not tonight. Focus on the sea, the last light dipping below the horizon. Breathe. A few pigeons flutter nearby, pecking at nothing in particular. Underrated creatures. Watching them helps. Needing a distraction, I check the moorings again, even though I know they're solid. Anything to keep my mind from circling back to that night. The night everything unraveled. No, stop. That way lies madness. Without thinking, I dive into the water. The cold slams into me, shocking the tension from my body. The same tension that's kept me isolated, far from people, especially women. My sister, Annette, warned me, said I was on the verge of snapping. She was right, as usual. So I made my choice. A life of solitude, but on a luxury yacht instead of in some damp, forgotten cave. I may have lost faith in people, but I'm not an idiot. Back on deck, I decide to cook. Julia never did, so it always fell to me. Like so many things. That woman, no, stop. I crack eggs, slice mushrooms, and make an omelet. Not out of hunger, just to keep my hands busy. The silence deepens, thick and weighty, the kind that only exists when the wind dies completely and the last light fades. It's perfect. The cliffs glow with the day's final golden shimmer. Then, an engine growls in the distance. At first I barely notice, assuming it's just a fishing boat heading home. But the sound grows louder, heavier, an unwelcome presence in the quiet. A massive yacht glides into view, rounding the island like a hunter. Damn it. So much for my peaceful night. It's a floating fortress, some billionaire's toy. Too late to move now. As it looms closer, it only becomes more obscene. Towering decks, gleaming white hull, lights blazing. Then the music starts, a relentless pulse of bass-heavy techno pounding through the night. The yacht stops barely 15 feet away, far too close. A man in a black suit steps onto the deck, looking absurdly out of place against the Aegean backdrop.
Hey, buddy, he calls over the music. You know whose yacht this is? Fulvio O'Brien, the king of fashion.
I barely react, just nod, uninterested.
So be a good guy and move your little boat. We need this spot for privacy. I exhale a short laugh, shaking my head. Look, we're trying to be polite, he persists. This is Mr. Bryan's favorite mooring. This is open water. I was here first. Not my problem. I can feel my irritation simmering. The tactic is clear. Pester me until I give up. Not happening. I take a slow sip of my beer as he stalks off. A few minutes later, he's back. How about €1,000 to move? They're actually trying to buy me out. Keep your cash, I say flatly, waving him away. Finally, he gives up. Their yacht settles into the second best spot, still too damn close. I force myself to let it go, treating the unfolding spectacle as free entertainment. The ship lights up like a neon circus. The deck is a writhing mess of expensive suits and women in bikinis and stilettos. Stilettos on a yacht. The absurdity of it almost makes me laugh. They pose, preen, drown in their own reflections. The women? Just decoration. The men? Smug, entitled, oozing self-importance. I watch, equal parts amused and repulsed. No doubt they think just as little of me slouched on my deck with a beer. We might as well be from different species. Beyond the models and their wealthy admirers, security lingers. Men in black suits scanning the deck with sharp eyes. Crew members in pristine white uniforms hustle to keep everything running. The women are rail-thin, some merely slim, others bordering on skeletal. It looks like a showcase of controlled starvation. My instinct is to feed them. Occasionally, one glances my way. Our worlds are too far apart for any real curiosity. I wonder what they're thinking. Are they searching for a rich husband before they age out of the industry? What's the expiration date on a model? 25? 30? No idea. The thought tugs me back to Julia, to her own calculated strategy. Marriage as an investment, divorce as a payout. She played me. I loved her, and the loss still cuts deep. She's a ghost haunting my every thought, shaping my life in all the wrong ways. Then, a sharp voice shatters the music. A woman, mid-argument, stands at the center of a tense circle. Bryan is with her, impossible to miss. The only man on board who's actually overweight. A bodyguard looms beside him, muscles coiled, ready. He looks like he's about to punch her. Then, all at once, the entire deck turns toward me. I smirk, lifting my beer in mock salute. They weren't expecting an audience. Bryan and his muscle grip the woman, dragging her toward the interior. Whatever's happening, it isn't good. She knows it too. She fights, but no one intervenes. The models, the businessmen, they just watch. Detached, uncaring. It's disgusting. She's completely at their mercy, and not a single person lifts a finger. Then she bolts. She runs for the bow, wild-eyed, trapped. Bryan and his bodyguards smirk, moving in like stalkers. They know she has nowhere to go. This is their yacht, their rules. She belongs to them. A sharp knot twists in my gut. This is wrong. I should do something. But what? Swim over and fight a boat full of bodyguards? Call the police? That's a joke. No one's coming. No one ever does. Then she screams, desperate, raw, the kind of sound that cuts through everything. But no one reacts. They just watch, detached, indifferent. And then she jumps. I barely process it. A long drop, yet she moves with purpose, slicing into the water without hesitation, even in heels. A bold move, a desperate one, but useless. There's nowhere for her to go, or so I think. Then I see it. She's swimming toward me. Damn it, she's coming aboard. I should stop her. Send her back. Pretend I didn't see. But I know I won't. I wouldn't sleep tonight if I did. That leaves me with one choice. Let her in, lose my solitude, and worse, have a woman on my boat. The one thing I swore I'd never allow again. Perfect. And not just any woman. A model, most likely. High maintenance, complaining, needy. I can already hear it. Is this salad organic? Where's the avocado? This yacht is tiny. Where does a man go to escape women? A monastery? Could I be a monk? Do they actually take vows of celibacy, or do they just look like they do? She keeps swimming. Damn it. Too late to pull anchor. Too late to pretend I didn't see. Fine. I'll take her to port in the morning. She reaches the ladder, gasping, water streaming from her clothes, her limbs trembling from the cold. I exhale, extend my hand. She hesitates, eyes locking onto mine. I don't speak. Just pull her up, still in heels, about to step onto my deck. I point. She gets it, slips them off. Oh, right, sorry. A pause. I'm Anna. Mark. Damn. 2 seconds and I'm already talking. She extends her hand again, but this time not for balance. A real handshake. Thank you. I take it. She straightens, glances around, not really seeing anything, just giving me space. A small courtesy. Unexpected. How does someone with self-awareness end up on Bryan's yacht?
I don't need to hear her story, but I will. She's stunning. No point denying it. If I saw her in a magazine, I'd assume she was just another self-absorbed woman who spent her days perfecting her angles. A woman with a face like that has to be. High cheekbones, sharp jawline, perfect green eyes, a nose that looks like it belongs in an oil painting. Not cute. Perfect. She's thin, but not like the others on that yacht. No gaunt cheeks, no bones threatening to break through skin. Just balanced. Her long, wet hair clings to her shoulders, too dark to tell the exact color. I used to think Julia was beautiful. Compared to Anna? Forgettable. Years ago, a woman like this would have knocked the breath out of me, but Julia made sure that would never happen again. Now I tell myself I can appreciate Anna's beauty the way I'd admire a rare flower. Distant, detached, unmoved. At least that's what I keep repeating. She turns to me. Thank you. Soft, uncertain. That surprises me. Women like her don't ask. They take. But she's waiting, like my reaction actually matters. I nod. She watches me, then shrugs, taking the towel I offer, a small smile, probably pegging me as a grumpy sea dog. She's not wrong. I glance at Brian's yacht. He's pacing, yelling at his bodyguards, gesturing wildly, pointing at me. Great. Maybe he's considering sending them over. But piracy in Greek waters wouldn't be worth the trouble, not even for him. Especially not for a woman he can replace. Anna follows my gaze, her face tightening. I hope that fat creep doesn't send his goons. I shake my head. He could. He's got 4 of them. She exhales. Maybe we should leave at dawn. I keep it short. Okay, she sighs, pulling the towel tighter around herself. I won't sleep well. Still a little worried. A pause. Thanks again for saving me. They were about to... Her voice catches. They were going to take advantage of me. My jaw tightens. She says it flat, emotionless. They? The word slips out before I can stop it. Damn it, not my problem. Yes, Brian, his guests, his guards, the crew. A humorless laugh. Apparently he made a bet. Every man on board would entertain each girl before we got back to Italy. She stares at her hands. The others didn't like it, but they went along with it anyway. A slow exhale. I don't know what changed. Something just snapped. I've put up with so much. But tonight, I couldn't. Silence. Then a soft chuckle. My career is over. She doesn't sound upset. Just resigned. I grunt. She shakes her head. Fashion is garbage, all those glamorous people. It's all fake. I say nothing. Yeah, you're right, she mutters. Maybe it's better this way. Nothing I can do now, right? Move on. Life's about change. Then she smiles. Like she didn't just throw away everything. Like she isn't standing here, a refugee from a world that chewed her up and spat her out. How does she brush it off so easily? I wish I could. Or could I? I'm starving, she says suddenly. I'm always hungry. Been hungry for 10 years. She laughs. And it's magical. Damn it, no, stop it. I head below deck, grab eggs. She follows, curious. I hand her a plate. No words. Keeping up the brooding act is harder than expected. She grins. Wow, this looks amazing. Takes a bite. Do you live here alone? I nod. Do you have clothes I can borrow? Another smile, still breathtaking. I nod, grab a spare shirt and shorts. Take one of the forward cabins, I say. Thanks. She glances around. Are they all empty? I nod. She studies me. Why does a man like you live alone? How do you keep women at a distance? What? Her laughter is light, effortless, like she actually enjoys my confusion. Never mind, she says with a smirk. I'm going to change. This bikini is freezing. Too much warmth in that smile for someone who just jumped ship to escape a hunter. She walks forward and I catch myself watching her. Damn, she's just as gorgeous from behind. I shake my head. A man like me? Julia used to remind me daily. I was ordinary, unremarkable, lucky to have her. And I believed it. Now this woman, a real model, is asking how I keep women away. I don't get a chance to figure it out before she's back, moving like she's always belonged here. Somehow, my old sweatpants look like designer wear on her. Of course, she's a model. Looking good is part of the job. Julia, on the other hand, took half an hour just to pick shoes. I could get used to how quickly she dresses. The idea almost makes me smile. You might not be as grumpy as you want people to think, Anna teases. You've got a friendly face after all. I try not to grin. It's kind of working. Her hair is drying now, brunette, though it doesn't really matter. She'd look good in any color. Damn it, Mark. Stop. This kind of thinking is dangerous. Do you mind if I stay below deck? I don't want to remind Fulvio I'm here, she asks. I just nod in response. I'm starting to sound like an idiot with my one-word answers. Even I can hear it. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow, she says, pausing. Can I borrow your e-reader? Another nod. I retreat to my cabin, relieved to be alone again. Morning. I could stay in bed, but then I'd just end up thinking about Julia. That's not a better option. So I get up anyway. Brian's yacht is silent now, the noise from last night finally dying down around 4 a.m. Now it's like a ghost ship, floating in the stillness. Good. They'll sleep until noon, and I'll be out of here before they wake up. I hear movement below deck. She's up. Anna is hard to pin down. Over 20, not starving herself, not full of herself even when I'm rude. And now, an early riser. What's next? A mechanic? Morning, her voice drifts up. I grunt, not bothering to hide my mood. Coffee? She asks. Galley, I reply, and she disappears below deck. At least she's quick, but annoyingly, she looks way too good for someone this early. I stare out at the sea, but damn it, there's Julia's face again. Her and that guy, smirking at me. Crap, footsteps. Anna's back. She's probably going to be chipper now, ready to chat about things I don't care about, or worse, things I really don't want to discuss. And of course, she'll be smiling. That damn, beautiful, dangerous smile. Crap, I don't want to be cheered up, I want to sulk. Don't I have that right? Anna, I say, surprising myself by remembering her name. She doesn't respond, just sits beside me, staring at the sea. The air is still cool, the Greek sun not yet burning. It feels strange. Julia is gone. Only the sea remains. The silence stretches between us, but it's not uncomfortable. So, she says suddenly, what's the deal? You saved me. What am I supposed to do now? She sounds tense, like she's bracing for bad news. Has everyone who's helped you wanted something in return? I ask before I can stop myself. Damn it. I didn't want to ask that. I don't want to know. She lets out a small, humorless laugh. Yeah, pretty much. I shake my head. Well, your life must really suck then. Yeah, she replies quietly. A woman like her should have men lining up, eager to help her. Instead, she looks serious. Miserable, even. I glance at her, unsure of what to say. The silence between us shifts, no longer comfortable. We need to leave before Brian wakes up. Anything on that ship you need? I ask, my voice softer than I intended. No, she says firmly, as if she's closing the door on the past. I nod and start going through the motions. She doesn't try to help, just stands by the rail, staring at the sea. Is that just how she is? Or does she know that's exactly what I want? Either way, she seems to understand me more than I like. I collect the coffee cups and stow them. Securing the mooring lines is easy enough. The anchor is loud and slow to lift. Anna watches Brian's yacht anxiously as the noise begins. No wind. I start the diesel engine. We need to get some distance before anyone wakes up. The halcyon shifts, and Brian's yacht starts to shrink behind us. Anna exhales, her shoulders dropping. She looks lighter. She looks even more beautiful now. Didn't expect that. She sits beside me, silent, content. The engine hum is starting to get on my nerves, so I cut it and raise the sails. The blessed silence fills the air. Just the wind, the waves, the soft creak of the boat. I take the helm. She stays quiet, staring at the water. With Brian's yacht far behind us, she seems at peace. It's strange. She doesn't look like someone who just walked away from a dream career. If Julia had done something like this, not that she ever would, she'd have been hysterical. But Anna? She's serene. Unless a thought creeps in, unwanted. What if she sees me the way Julia did? Just another man to use, another sucker to keep her in luxury. Oh, crap. Here we go again. I glance at her. She's still staring at the water, lost in thought. Completely innocent. Or is she just playing the part? I shake it off. Check the sails. Then, what did she do to you? Her voice cuts through my thoughts, sharp and sudden. I turn, caught off guard. Well, she presses, waiting for an answer. Damn, the morning was almost perfect. Nothing, I'm just a guy, I mutter. Sure, handsome guy, obviously. Well off. Sailing alone on a fancy yacht. Trying to hide the fact that he's nice by grunting a lot. What? Handsome? Great. Now she needs glasses. You need to talk about it sometime, she says, her voice softer now. We're alone, I'm a good listener, but I won't push. Thanks, I say dryly. Damn it. Am I that obvious? She laughs. It's not forced, not fake, real, carefree. I try to stay defensive. It's not working. Fine. I take the bait. Okay. I sigh. I was married to my childhood best friend. Thought it would last forever. Turns out, she just wanted my money. She cheated. Left me with nothing but bitterness. That should shut her up. It doesn't. I'm sorry, she says softly. Figured it was something like that. But you're still letting her control you. You're letting her keep you from being happy. My jaw tightens. Look, she continues. You have to talk about it at some point. You can't just lock it all away. She pauses, then smirks. And who better to talk to than someone you'll never see again? That stops me in my tracks. She's not flirting. Not trying to manipulate me. Just offering. Don't worry, she adds. I already know you plan to ditch me at the next port. Your secrets are safe with me. A beat of silence. Want to hear my story? I hesitate. If she's telling her story, she won't be prying into mine. No questions, no Julia. But what if she's had it worse? What if she handled it better? That thought unsettles me. So, back to the silence, huh? She says, a playful smirk tugging at her lips. It's hard not to grin. Almost, but not quite. I remind myself, no attachments, Mark. Keep your distance. But it's too late. She's still smirking. Damn it, she's got me again. I need to be cautious with this woman. Her smile fades as she shifts her focus to the horizon. When she speaks again, her tone is distant, rehearsed, like she's had to say these words far too many times. I grew up in a small town where everyone expected me to be something, she says, her voice steady but weighted. Not because I had skills, not because I was particularly clever, but because I was pretty. She exhales slowly, the kind of breath that tries to release something heavy, but never quite succeeds. When your looks are the only thing you've got, there's only one place to go. Modeling, she continues, her voice tightening. I learned quickly. I wasn't a diamond, just another face in the crowd trying to get noticed. She turns to me then, her green eyes searching mine, looking for something. Recognition, understanding. When someone tells you your work isn't enough, it hurts, she says. But when they tell you you aren't enough over and over, it changes the way you see everything. Her gaze drifts back to the ocean, her expression unreadable. I started seeing my body as just a tool, something to be maintained. Exercise, diet, every little thing. But it was never enough, she says, her voice quieter now. I kept losing jobs to girls who had connections. She sneers, her voice turning bitter. And those connections, they meant Zex. Her fingers tighten around the railing, knuckles going white. It didn't matter if the director was a man or a woman, that's just how it worked. I fought it for a while, but when the jobs don't come, the pressure builds. Eventually, I gave in. She takes a slow breath, like she's remembering something that still stings. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Some of them were kind, polite even. And since I'd already separated myself from my body, it didn't feel like I was losing anything. I was just using what I had. A hollow half-smile forms on her face, but it's empty, like she's trying to convince herself of something she doesn't believe. I got work. My town was thrilled, seeing me on magazine covers and billboards, like I was living their dream. So I kept going, even though I hated it. She shakes her head, the thought weighing heavily on her. I understood why women stayed in abusive relationships. It's not just about fear, it's about survival. I've been on Brian's cruises before. I knew what was expected, but this time, something snapped. Maybe it was their stupid bet. Maybe I just couldn't keep pretending anymore. I hid in my cabin until they dragged me out. Her voice turns quieter, the words dripping with meaning. And then you saw the rest. She turns to face me, her expression unreadable. They didn't think I'd jump. Maybe I wouldn't have, but your boat was there. I heard you stand up to them. I was terrified Brian would send his men after me. But in that moment, I was glad to just be another pretty face. Replaceable. A flicker of amusement passes across her lips as she imagines the chaos she left behind. I can't help but smirk. Hard to imagine anyone thinking of you as just a pretty face. She lets out a soft laugh, shaking her head. Well, it's over now. My town will have to find someone else to look up to. No job, no money, but I'll figure it out. I've been through worse. And then she smiles again. And somehow she looks even more beautiful. So, she asks, her eyes sparkling with mischief, Do you think I'm a hooker? I freeze. What kind of question is that? She seems to sense my discomfort and smirks, clearly enjoying the moment. I mumble something about choice, dignity, just nonsense, really. She comes to my rescue. You know, she says, tilting her head. In a way, I'm a maiden. My mind goes blank. And then she bursts out laughing. I was right. I could definitely get used to that sound. She sobers a little, watching me carefully. I told you. I learned to separate myself from my body. So, yeah, people used me. Sometimes I even enjoyed it, but I never gave myself away, never made love, never gave my heart. She looks at me serious now. All I ever wanted was what my mother had, a quiet life, a good man, a home full of love. For a while, I lost track of that, but not anymore. And just like that, the playful smile returns. Her resilience makes me feel small, like I've been wallowing in self-pity for far too long. I stand up abruptly, needing space, needing something to do. Below deck, I pour 2 glasses of Sauvignon Blanc. We raise our glasses, a silent toast to her future. Then it hits me. It's not just her beauty, not just her body, it's her. I need a distraction. She keeps her gaze fixed on me. You. I blink. What? You still haven't told me your story, she says, tilting her head slightly. Damn, am I that transparent? Her smirk deepens as if she's read my mind. Yes, she says, and I still want to hear it. She makes it sound so easy. I exhale, bracing myself. All right, I say. Here goes. I met Julia on my first day of school. She was cute. Some kids were messing with her, pulling her pigtails. I made them stop. From that day on, I was her protector. She helped me with homework. I made her laugh. My family had money, hers didn't. But none of that matters when you're 6. I pause, watching the waves. She grew into the girl everyone wanted. I was just me. We stayed friends, but even my mom said she was out of my league. Anna narrows her eyes. Your mother said that. That's cruel. Maybe, I admit, but I still believe it. She shakes her head. Your mom needed glasses. I smirk. Or maybe she mistook me for someone else. Anna bursts into laughter. I chuckle, then continue. We went to the same university. One day, out of nowhere, Julia called me, said she was done with arrogant a-holes and remembered how safe she felt with me. She hinted that maybe I had a shot. Anna tilts her head. And you fell for it. Of course, I was ecstatic. Before I knew it, I proposed. She said yes, we got married. And for a while, I thought I was the luckiest guy alive. I exhale sharply. Until I came home one day and found her in our bed, with another man. Anna flinches. I didn't confront them, just locked myself in my office. She cried, begged for forgiveness, said it was a mistake. You forgave her? I nod. I think I would have forgiven one mistake too, Anna says quietly. But she didn't stop, did she? I shake my head. She had no money when you married, right? She asks. I glance at her. No. Why? She hesitates. I don't know. Just thinking. Maybe she felt powerless. Maybe she thought you had all the control because you had money. Maybe she cheated to regain that balance, to make you need her. I stiffen. You're making excuses for her now? Anna raises her hands. No, there's no excuse for breaking promises. I'm not defending her. I'm thinking about you. She meets my gaze, unwavering. You're stuck. You're not suffering, but you're not happy either, and you won't be until you start living again. To do that, you need to understand why she did what she did. Not for her sake. For yours. I shake my head. And how do you know all this? Anna looks out at the horizon. I don't, she says simply. Then she turns back to me, smiling softly. Go on. What happened next? I take a deep breath, steadying myself. It all started so simple, almost ridiculous, really. Just a night of pool with my friends. The power went out at the hall, and while they wanted to keep drinking, I figured going home to my wife sounded better. I pause, feeling the sting of the memory even now. The apartment was bathed in candlelight. Soft music played, one of our little traditions. It should have been perfect, but something felt off. I can't shake the thought that Julia must have known I was coming home early. I walked into the bathroom expecting her to be preparing a bath for us, but instead, there she was, already in the tub, laughing and kissing some guy, tangled up with him. I let out a sharp breath. I stood there, frozen, trying to process it all, and the only thing I could think to do was clear my throat. A bitter chuckle escapes me. They both turned around. No guilt, no shock, just casual smiles. And then, I continue,
The guy, Andy, reaches out a soapy hand and says, "Hey, I'm Andy. Nice to finally meet you." Anna inhales sharply, but stays quiet. The bubbles cleared, and it hit me. This wasn't some random mistake. They were comfortable, too comfortable. This wasn't new. This was a pattern. A sick feeling crawls into my gut as I remember how they looked at me. Not a hint of shame, not a single ounce of regret. "Mark, don't take it so personally," Julia said, her voice soft, almost patronizing. "It's not a big deal." "Not a big deal?" "I still love you," she continued, her words flowing too easily. "This doesn't change anything." I stood there, feeling like I was trapped in a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. "You mean, you plan on continuing this?" I asked, my voice hollow. "Of course," she said like it was the most normal thing in the world, as if I were the unreasonable one. "I love you both. Andy understands, and in time you will too. Nothing has to change, Mark. You're still my husband. I'll be with you most of the time. But now that you know I'll spend some nights with Andy, you won't even notice." She said it as casually as if explaining a new workout plan, like this was just another lifestyle choice. "And of course," she added, her voice matter-of-fact, "when we have kids, Andy will have to use protection, so we know they're yours, right, Andy?" Andy, lounging in my bathtub, nodded enthusiastically. "You see?" Julia said, leaning toward me with a fake smile. "This will strengthen our marriage." I could feel the heat rise in my chest. "What about your vow to be faithful?" "Oh, that..." She waved a dismissive hand like it was no big deal. I was a little hasty. Besides, I hadn't met Andy yet. I stared at her, too stunned to speak. "And that justifies breaking your vows?" I finally managed. She sighed, clearly exhausted by the conversation. "Mark, don't be so dramatic. Look at the past few months. Has anything changed? Do you love me any less? Has our bed life suffered? If anything, you've been better since I started seeing Andy." I felt sick to my stomach. "You're steady, reliable. But Andy?" She smiled dreamily as if talking about a favorite dessert. "He's unpredictable, spontaneous. He excites me, but you know me so well, and that makes you a better lover." She didn't see the disgust in my eyes. "This only becomes a problem if you make it one." I just stood there, absorbing it all. The woman I'd loved since childhood, the woman I'd built a life with, had been cheating for months, unapologetically, smugly. And now she expected me to accept it. "And if I don't agree?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. Her smile faltered, but only for a second. "Mark, I love you, and I hope it doesn't come to this. But if you divorce me, I need to protect myself." "Myself, not us," she sighed, exaggerated, as if burdened. "I'll make sure I get at least half of everything you own." I don't want to do that, but I will if I have to. It felt like a punch to the gut. "Mark, don't look so sad," she cooed, like I was a child who lost his favorite toy. "It's simple. Stay with me, keep your home, your life, your loving wife, or lose it all. Me, your house, and half your wealth." She actually smiled, like she'd just offered me a deal too good to refuse. Then from the tub, Andy chimed in, "Hey, Mark, right? Why don't you stay and join us?" "Oh, great idea." Julia clapped her hands. "Come on, Mark, don't be such a prude." She playfully flicked bathwater in my direction and turned back to Andy, planting a kiss on his nose. I was done. I turned and walked out, hearing their laughter in whispers, as if I were the ridiculous one. I packed a bag and left. Silence fills the air now between me and Anna. For a moment, I forget she's even here. She hasn't said a word, just listening, absorbing. And oddly, I feel lighter. After leaving Julia, I checked into a hotel, and I did exactly what you'd expect. Drank, cursed, punched the mattress, then passed out in the chair. When I woke up, nothing had changed. Except for one thing. Julia wasn't the woman I had loved. She was my enemy, and I wasn't going to let her win. What she didn't know was that my wealth wasn't mine to touch yet. My grandfather, a cynic, brilliant, and deeply distrustful of women, had set up a trust fund that I couldn't access until I turned 40 or divorced. Legally, I owned nothing. She'd destroyed our marriage, but the divorce was about to make me rich. I went straight to my family lawyer, who confirmed my suspicion. She'd get nothing. At best, a small amount of alimony. Then he told me, "Give it 2 weeks. That's when the real fun starts." And he was right. At first, nothing. Then came a message. "Have you dealt with your hurt feelings? Are you ready to come home?" I didn't reply. For someone who loved me so much, she didn't seem to miss me.
Then, after speaking with her lawyer, she realized she wasn't getting the payout she'd hoped for. The message has changed. We can fix this, I know we can. The guilt trip began. Andy accepted it. Why can't you? Be brave, Mark. When that didn't work, she tried something else. She forged a post-dated prenup claiming I owed her $20,000 a month for life. The handwriting expert shredded it in court. Then came the accusation, domestic violence. Except there was no evidence because it never happened. In the end, we settled. $2,000 a month for a year, and they covered the legal fees. I won. But I still felt like hell. After that, I shut myself off from women. I couldn't trust myself to let anyone in. So I became a hermit. Silence. The only sound was the wind in the rigging, the gentle lap of waves against the hull. I expected awkwardness from Anna, maybe some judgment, but when I glanced at her, I saw tears slipping down her face. You know what? I say softly as she wipes them away. You're still beautiful. She lets out a shaky laugh, shaking her head. I'm so sorry, Mark. That was awful. No one deserves that. Oddly, now that I've said it all out loud, the pain doesn't sting quite as much. But Mark, she says, her voice steady now, you can't keep living like this. She never cared about your happiness, and now you're letting her make you miserable. You're giving her power she doesn't deserve. Her words land harder than I expected. You have to start living again, she insists. If you don't, she's going to keep breaking you down. I flinch. It's harsh, but it's the truth. She gives me space to let the weight of it sink in, then breaks the silence. So you're really just a hermit now, huh? That teasing smile she wears is back. Yeah, I reply, feeling a hint of discomfort. Guess that's one way to put it. Yesterday, I might have said it with some pride. Today, though, the words feel different. At least you're doing better than the guys in caves, she adds, her voice light and playful. Lucky for me, I mutter. Promise me you won't stay like this, she says, her tone softening. You need to start living again. I look at her, and for the first time in a long while, I see someone who genuinely cares. It hits me hard, and I feel a lump rise in my throat. All I can do is nod. She lets out a deep sigh, pulling herself away from the moment. Good, she says, standing up. Now I'm going to get some sun. She walks toward the bow, spreading out on the deck with my old sweatpants rolled up as a makeshift pillow. The sunlight dances in her messy hair, and even in my worn-out clothes, she looks like she stepped out of a magazine. But it's not her beauty that stands out. It's her kindness. In a world where everyone seems to take, she actually gave something. She understood my pain. She cried for me. And for the first time in years, I don't feel like I'm carrying that weight alone. Is she telepathic? I hope not. But somehow she gets me. More than I'd like to admit, and that's the scariest part. She might be right. I've been hiding away, wasting my days on this boat, pretending I'm free. But if I'm still letting Julia control me, how different is that from what I was running from? I glance at Anna. She walked away from her old life just like I did, but she's not running. She's moving forward, even if she has no idea where she's going. And being around her, just seeing her, makes me think maybe I could move forward too, even though she's way out of my league. Maybe there's someone out there, someone like her, but maybe not as stunning, who I could actually build something with. My thoughts start to spiral as I watch her, captivated. The way her stomach rises and falls with each breath. The way the scraps of fabric barely cover her. Mark. Crap. She caught me staring. I thought the sunglasses would be a good cover. Guess models always seem to know. Where are we headed? She asks, stretching like a cat. Naxos. Is that where you were planning to ditch me? She pulls off her sunglasses, flashing a teasing smile. I pause. I mean, only if you want to go. You don't have to unless you want to or need to. Oh, great. Now she's laughing. I'm sorry, Mark, she giggles. But it's been so long since I've had someone to just have fun with. I smile, despite myself. I think I'd forgive her anything if she just kept looking at me like that. And then deep inside, that familiar voice warns me. All women are selfish, manipulative. No, Mark, I'm not, she says softly, as if she's reading my mind. Damn, how does she do that? She doesn't mind repeating it until I believe it. Am I reading too much into this? So, I'll leave the boat in Naxos? She asks, her gaze steady and intense. No, I say, pausing. Not unless you want to. You can stay as long as you need to. She grins, enjoying the way I stumble over my words. I take a deep breath, trying to get a grip. I was stopping there anyway to restock. You'll probably need some clothes, too. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. What's the matter, sailor? She leans against the mast, striking a pose like she's on a runway. Not enjoying the view? I ooh and ah dramatically, making her laugh before she turns serious again. You know I don't have money or cards, she says, her voice turning a little quieter. I don't even know if I can access my accounts. I pretend to think for a moment. Maybe I'll find a way for you to pay me back. I keep my face neutral. She doesn't look convinced. Oh no, she says warily. Not him. How are your knots? I ask. Her eyes narrow. Why? Halcyon doesn't sail itself, I say. And since you're here, you might as well help out. She exhales in relief, laughing and slapping my arm. You got me. I chuckle, relieved. Looks like I'm not the only one who's been missing out on a little fun. We sit on the foredeck facing each other. I teach her a few knots, and I enjoy watching her fumble at first, then quickly pick it up. The sun beats down on us, and I pull off my shirt. Every now and then, we catch each other's gaze and smile. It's strange having a woman look at me like that. Strange, but not unpleasant. We trim the foresail. Not that it really needs adjusting, but it's a good excuse to keep her busy. She moves with more grace than I expected. When it's time to dock, she follows my instructions flawlessly. If I ever thought she was just another airheaded model, I know better now. She tugs my oversized sweatpants higher and follows me into town. At the bank, as she feared, she can't access her accounts in Italy or Germany without her ID. So she shops on my dime. I half expected her to act like the stereotypical model, grabbing everything in sight. But of course, she doesn't. She picks out a few sundresses, shorts, and simple tops. She even asks my opinion on shoes. Everything she chooses is quality, but simple, no flashy labels. While she shops, I stock up on groceries. By the time we meet in the town square, we're both carrying enough bags to make it look like we're moving in. As we head back toward the docks, I can't help but smirk, watching her sweat under the midday sun in my oversized sweatpants. When we're back on Halcyon, Anna has changed into a light sundress, and she looks breathtaking. This time, she laughs when she catches me staring. Half the men on Naxos probably wish they were in my shoes. Once everything is stowed, she turns to me, her expression suddenly serious. Every time I think I've gotten used to her beauty, she does something, moves in a certain way, looks at me with those eyes, and I'm stunned all over again. Thank you, Mark. I have savings, she adds quickly. I'll pay you back. Maybe hold on to that, I say, until you're settled somewhere. She hesitates, then nods. Maybe, but I don't like being in debt to my friends. Her voice is soft, her eyes warm, and I feel a pang of panic rising. This is moving too fast. We're friends, she says again. Friends help each other. Like you helped me last night, even when you didn't want to. We both know she's right. Friends don't hurt each other, Mark. And no matter what happens, I won't hurt you, not ever. She lets the words sink in. And you know we're comfortable together. Again, she's right. I try to think of the last time I felt this comfortable with anyone. No pressure, no expectations. Just easy. I can't even remember the last time that happened. You're getting too comfortable with me, aren't you? She says with a knowing smile. I don't respond because I don't need to. She watches me closely. There's something else, she adds. You know how I always seem to know what you're thinking? I nod, unsure where this is going. You're the only person I can do that with. Damn. I try to hide my surprise, but a smile pulls at the corner of my mouth. I was hoping you could read everyone like that. We could take over the world. She laughs, giving me a lingering look before flashing a playful smirk. So, what's the plan for tonight? She asks, her tone teasing. I raise an eyebrow, matching her smirk. Well, I guess the truth is, I don't have a plan at all. I'm the kind of guy who's just winging it. Good, she grins, clearly enjoying the moment. Because I've got one. Oh, really? I say, curious. Yep, she says. You're taking me to that seafood place we passed earlier, and we're going to have a great dinner. And then? I ask, still intrigued. Then we'll head back, and I'll tell you the rest of the plan. The restaurant is simple, but warm, and I can't help but wonder if Anna will feel out of place, if she'll think it's too casual for her taste. But when we sit down, she looks completely at ease. People notice us as we walk in. She's used to it. I'm not. Sensing my discomfort, she leans in and whispers, It's fine, Mark. I don't mind them staring at you. I'm not jealous. We both chuckle, the tension easing. Dinner is slow, relaxed. Every bite of food is amazing. Fresh seafood cooked to perfection.
The owner stops by, clearly pleased with how much we're enjoying everything. Maybe he just wants a better look at Anna, but I don't blame him. But more than the food, I'm focused on Anna's happiness. And surprisingly, mine too. When we finally leave, we walk along the waterfront, the night air warm and soft around us. She slips her hand into mine. We don't speak. We don't need to. Back on Halcyon, I step onto the deck and turn to face her. She leans into me, her body close, and presses a light kiss to my lips. Then she pulls back, her eyes sparkling in the lantern light. "Thank you," she whispers. "I haven't had a night like this in so long." She looks away, blinking as if trying to hide the tears. Then she turns back to me, that familiar teasing smile back in place. "So, ready for the rest of the plan?" I nod. "Sure." She tilts her head. "Are you really sure?" Her earlier words echo in my mind. "Promise me you'll start living again, Mark." I take a deep breath. "Okay, I'm ready. What's the plan?" She stands a little taller, putting her hands on her hips as if she's about to make a big announcement. "This is where I seduce you." I freeze. "Seduce?" She waves her hand dismissively, as if it's the simplest thing in the world. "You know, when I—" She gestures vaguely. "And you—" I stare at her, feeling like an absolute idiot. She smirks, and for a moment I can't do anything but mumble incoherently. She laughs. "Well, at least one part of you knows exactly what I'm talking about." Her eyes drop. "Oh, crap, I'm already hard." "Anna, I thought you didn't want to—" I stammer, trying to keep myself together. She steps closer, pressing a hand to my chest. "Don't worry, Mark. We're not going to have sex." "Eh?" She smiles, serious but soft. "We're going to make love." Something inside me shatters. I feel myself falling hard and fast with no way to stop it. "Anna, you could have anyone." "Why me?" She meets my eyes, steady and unwavering. "We're falling in love, Mark. Haven't you noticed?" Panic floods through me. She senses it. She tilts her head, her voice barely a whisper. "I'm not Julia," she says. "I could never do to you what she did." It's an oath, and somehow I believe her. Without another word, she grabs my shirt and kisses me. It's unlike anything I've ever felt before. It's not just passion. It's something real. When we pull apart, I see tears in her eyes, and I feel them in my own too. She grabs my shirt and pulls me toward my cabin. Before I can process anything, I'm on the bed. Later, as we lie together, I try to wrap my mind around it all. How did I end up here? Was it the money? I glance at her, and she's watching me, a knowing, satisfied look in her eyes. "No, Mark," she says before I can even ask. "It's not about your money. It's because I love you." I swallow hard, my mind racing. "But—" She rolls her eyes as if it's the most obvious thing in the world. "Look, money makes life easier, but I couldn't be with someone just for that. The idea repulses me." I... She smirks. "I'll sign a prenup. No problem." "A prenup?" I ask, taken aback. "Yeah," she shrugs. "In case we ever get married, you never know." She grins, and after a moment, I can't help but laugh. It feels inevitable, and oddly, I don't mind. She rests her hand on my chest, her expression playful. "Oh, and just so you know, I'm on birth control, and you're the first man I've been with without a rubber, so you're safe." My mind spins, struggling to keep up. Anna laughs softly. "You're so sweet, Mark." I let out a sharp breath. "Anna, where do we go from here?" She nods as if she's already decided. "Halcyon's home port is Antibes, right?" "Yeah." "Perfect. We'll drive to Milan from there. I need to grab my things, the remnants of my old life." "Oh, sure," I say, processing. "It's on the way to Germany anyway." Her face lights up. "Exactly. It's going to be so much fun." I raise an eyebrow. "Fun?" She grins. "I have to convince a certain someone that good women really exist." I scoff. "Oh, so this is some kind of project now? What, are you kidding me?" She smirks. "I'm being purely selfish. I don't like you being such a grumpy hermit." I roll my eyes, but I can't stop smiling. The next few weeks are perfect. We sail, we soak in the sun, we eat, we explore. And yeah, we spend a ridiculous amount of time in bed. No past, no future, just the present. For the first time in years, I feel alive. When we finally dock in Antibes, everything feels different. We clean the yacht, pack up, and load up my car. As I lock Halcyon, Anna and I share a look. Neither of us says anything, but we both know. Something is shifting. The drive to Milan and then Germany is quiet, not comfortable like before.
There's an unspoken tension that neither of us wants to address. I try to be the brooding man she first met, but silence feels wrong now. I wish we had something to break it. I don't know what she's afraid of, but I know what I am. I've fallen for her completely, and it terrifies me. What if this isn't real? What if it doesn't last? For weeks now, Anna and I have been sharing my apartment. The chemistry between us is undeniable, the closeness effortless. We live well together, slipping into an easy rhythm, but something is different. That initial spark, the one that burned so brightly back on Halcyon, is dimming, replaced by an unspoken tension. Neither of us addresses it. We sit on the couch, watching something forgettable on TV. My attention barely lingers on the screen. Anna leans against me, resting her head on my shoulder. The warmth is familiar, reassuring. Maybe this is what we need. Maybe a night wrapped up in each other will fix whatever's shifting between us. Then the doorbell rings. She still won't answer it. Won't pick up the phone either. It bothers me, like she still sees herself as a guest in my home rather than someone who belongs here. I exhale, standing up. Fine, Anna, I'll get it. Thank you, she murmurs. I pull open the door. And there she is. Julia, dressed to impress. Every inch of her as breathtaking as ever, a storm wrapped in silk and stilettos. Oh, sweetheart, there you are, she exclaims, stepping forward, winding herself around me before I can react. I go rigid, disgust curling in my gut. If she notices, she doesn't care. She steps back just enough to study me with an appreciative smile. My, she purrs. Sun-kissed suits you. Thanks, I say, voice flat. She tilts her head, feigning innocence. Aren't you going to invite me in? Before I can tell her exactly where she can go, Anna speaks from behind me. Please, come in, Julia. I turn, frowning. What the hell is she doing? Julia saunters inside as if she owns the place, her smirk as sharp as ever. She eyes Anna, amused. And you must be Anna. I know exactly who you are. The words are civil, the smile's polite, but there's an edge beneath them, a razor's gleam in their exchange. Please have a seat, Anna offers, voice smooth. Why, thank you. I stay silent, watching the storm unfold. Julia crosses her legs, settling in with the ease of a queen reclaiming her throne. So, you and Mark, friends? I'm his girlfriend. Julia arches a brow. Are you on payroll? Anna doesn't so much as blink. Are you asking if I'm a courtesan? Julia waves a manicured hand dismissively. Let's not be dramatic. You're pretty enough, and Mark's very well off. I wouldn't assume you're a professional, but, well, let's just say I have my doubts. Anna's lips curl into a slow, deliberate smile. No, Julia, you're mistaken. So you didn't get with him for his money? Of course not. Julia sighs as if the conversation bores her. Our divorce was all a terrible misunderstanding. Really, Mark, we should be together. I still love you. Me too, Anna replies, her tone light. Julia laughs, amused. Oh, honey, let's be real. Mark's a nice guy, but he's out of our league. Forgive me if I don't believe you're here for love. Anna leans back, completely unfazed. Oh, sweetheart, let's talk about leagues for a second, because I am definitely not in yours. Julia's smirk falters. Oh, don't flatter yourself. I wouldn't dream of it. You're decent looking, but I'm model quality. Julia's expression stiffens. And Mark? Anna continues, eyes gleaming. He's handsome, built like a damn Greek statue, honest, loyal. He's the kind of man you don't just date, you treasure. Any woman would be lucky to have him. I certainly would. Julia narrows her eyes. So if he proposed, you'd actually say yes? In a heartbeat. I stare at Anna, stunned. Really? Julia's glare sharpens. You just want his money, you little... Anna shrugs. I'd sign a prenup. Happily, I blink. Seriously? Absolutely. Julia shakes her head, fury simmering. You idiot. Then she turns to me. Mark, don't you see what's happening? Why do you think I've been waiting? Why do you think I've been on edge since we left the boat? I glance at Anna. She's smiling. And suddenly, it all makes sense. I've been waiting for her to leave, expecting her to wake up one day and realize this was just a passing thing. But all this time, she's been waiting for me to ask. It feels like a dream. But if it is, it's one I never want to wake up from. I take a deep breath. Anna. She looks at me, eyes bright. Yes? I step closer. Anna, will you... Julia grabs my arm, panic flashing across her face. Mark, don't... I barely hear her. Anna, marry me. Anna lets out a tiny gasp before throwing herself into my arms. Yes! Julia stumbles back, shaking her head in disbelief. No, no, Mark! Anna's laughter is soft, breathless. Really? Really? Her fingers brush my face, her touch grounding me. I thought you'd never ask. I was so scared. I silence her with a kiss. Behind us, Julia exhales a bitter laugh. Well, looks like I'm not needed here. I glance at her. You're right. Her eyes darken with fury. Mark, I could have been perfect for you. I shake my head. No, but you did serve a purpose. Oh, she scoffs. And what was that? I smile. You showing up, it's the best thing that could have happened to me. Her expression hardens. Julia, I wish you well. I've let the past go. It doesn't matter anymore. But if you'll excuse us, we have things to settle. Julia's lips curl into a sneer. Anna, don't think you can replace me. Anna smirks. Oh, don't worry. Julia spins on her heel, throwing her hair over her shoulder. Not like me. The door slams shut behind her. Silence lingers for a moment. Then Anna and I burst into laughter. Hand in hand, we walk toward the bedroom. I've changed, and I have fate and Julia to thank for making it happen.